What up, Tag Nation? Welcome to another episode of Hot Tag, where we're gonna talk about, as you can see it in the background, AEW Revolution. Also, it was also Sting's final match. We're gonna get into all of that and more, but first, the intro.
T.A.G.
That's tag shit.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really want.
What up, what up, what up? And once again, welcome to another episode of Hot Tag. Once again, the prestigious ScooterRay, Juggernaut 097. We might be joined by Jaeger Bombastic, Mr. So Fantastic, and of course, the other one, Lil Thizzle. We'll see. But last night was actually a surprising show for me. I'm not gonna lie, it was actually surprising. We're talking about AEW Revolution once again, aka aka Sting's final match. I guess it's gonna be interesting to truly see if it really is gonna be his final match or not. But I really think so, because he seemed pretty dead set on it, and they made such a big deal around it that I think it is gonna end up being his final hurrah with wrestling. So what do you think about that, Judge? You think he's actually really done, or he might just show up here and there type of situation?
I feel like it might be a here and there type of situation with Sting. But to be honest, I hope he actually is done, because he's how old is he? He's somewhere in his 60s.
60 something.
Like 65, 67 or something like that. I don't know.
No, I think he's like 62.
Yeah, he's up there in age. So he doesn't need to wrestle like on a weekly basis anymore. He doesn't need to do all crazy stuff that he does. So
I see Dizzle is in the background, but they won't let me add him for some reason. So maybe that could be rectified in a moment or three. But yeah. But yeah, like I want to know, is it going to be one of them things to where, like, 6-7 months down the line, could he show up and, like, help out in a match, or, like, is he like literally, I'm walking away, y'all not gonna see me again type of, like, not so much see me again, but you won't see me in a ring or anything. So, but I think it's like 62, 63. So I guess we'll see. But let's go ahead and get into it, because we had two matches in 0 hour. So the first match we had was a big one here.
We're completely out. Wait, never mind. Hold on.
What's up?
I was gonna look up how old he was. He's actually 64.
64? Okay. Yeah, 64. So I mean, even crazier. So the first match we had of the night, 0 hour, we had the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, consisting of the Acclaimed with Daddy Ass, of course, Switchblade Jay Wright, and the Guns, versus the hodgepodge team of Private Party, Willie Mack, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Santam Singh. Sure, why not?
This is just so random here. I mean, we already knew that the Acclaim, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang was going to win here. We already knew that.
Yes, this would have been I would say, in all honesty, this would have been one of the biggest, like, surprises if the Bang Bang Scissor Gang lost. Like, and it was like, okay, cool. Now, one thing that I'm kind of intrigued about is, what's up with this thing they're doing with Max Caster messing up his lyrics and, his raps and things like that. That's an interesting thing, because this is, I think, like the third or fourth time he's messed up a rap, and it's like, what is this? Like, where is this going? Like, what's the story behind him and his raps. But I guess in time we'll see.
Yeah, I'm actually curious about that too. Like why he keeps messing up. I don't know. Maybe he's just not as focused. Now he got more people. They got this big faction going on. Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Maybe so.
Maybe he has Jay White in his ear saying telling him stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on.
Just like what happened Sunday, Jay White stepped out the way and Caster was doing his raps, and then he messed up, and then it was like, oh, okay, cool. So I don't know. But like we said earlier, Bang Bang Scissor Gang with the dub. I found it funny with this faction because they solely formed to combat the aspect of, and they're the man himself, Mr. Deasley himself.
The man who's screwed.
Screwed. We're not getting into this right now. We will get into it, but we're not going to get into this right now.
Okay. All right.
We're not going to get into this right now.
Because understand that right behind that door, the heartthrob is there. The heartthrob is behind that door right there.
Okay.
So continue. I want to hear what we're talking about.
We're talking about the fact that the Bang Bang Scissor Gang formed.
Oh my
and
God.
They haven't really did anything with this yet.
No, they haven't. They have the trios titles on both sides of the fence for no reason.
For no reason.
Because they're not doing anything with them. They are paperweights at this point.
Yeah. And not to make it sound mean, but yeah. So,
sorry, Scoot. Which is weird because my assumption was that they formed an allegiance due to the fact that the Undisputed Kingdom was a thing, and they've done nothing with the Undisputed Kingdom.
No. And I was going to ask y'all about that later on, about is this Undisputed Kingdom thing working out when we get to Roddy Strong and everything. But yeah. But yeah, sure, why not? Bang Bang Scissor Gang once again with the dub. Moving on, we get to the last match of the 0 hour. We get Stat, Willow versus Julia and Sky. Once again, this was a give me match considered if you've been watching the product like that. Stat and Willow get the dub. I don't know where this is supposed to lead. I don't know if this is going to lead to Willow and Stat eventually going to get a shot at Julia for the title or not, but sure, why not? Just sure, why not?
Oh, the heartthrob is there. Oh my God.
Oh,
by God Almighty.
Heartthrob.
What's good? Good? I was just kicking back, eating some popcorn, watching some AEW, just seeing who I'm going to be going up against.
Once again, okay, if you want me to get into it now before we get into the main show, we can. Or we can run through the card and get into it. However, how y'all want to do it.
Oh, you know what? I will get into it because all respect to, you know what? Let me wait. Juggs, I'm gonna get to you in a second, brother, because I got a big respect for you, my friend. ScooterRay, the flawed champion himself. The person who now, obviously, yep, that right there, fraud. Who has now, leading into it, not yet, but where he's going to get it at some point, the longest reign as far as tag champion. And there is a huge asterisk next to that because you spent the better part of 3 months sitting on your ass. You have not defended that championship once. And even if we take into account these past 2 weekends, you still didn't defend anything. You didn't even win because let's break this down mathematically because you decided to take both shows and combine them into one. let's take that aspect out of it and let's break those apart. Let's say that both of those shows were defended separately. The first weekend, Elimination Chamber, Juggs would have been champion, right?
Yeah.
Just separately. And then we go into last night, Revolution. I only had one match wrong, which would have had me as champion going up against this guy.
Whoa, no. Not exactly.
Yes.
You know what? You're right.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
right. My bad. You're right.
Then even if we take both of those shows and we combine them, it still ended in a tie. So you still did not decisively defend that championship. You, sir, survived.
And isn't that what champions normally do?
Where my 84 days, the longest reign currently in tag predictions history, I defended that championship 6 different times in the better part of 3 months. So respect to you, Chubbs. You predicted very well at Elimination Chamber, and you deserve to be a champ. Not the champ, a champ. But I deserve to be going into Tag-La-Mania as said champion, defending against this guy, who would inevitably lose, but that's neither here nor there. So now we're in a situation where we have a tag bang bang gang Tag-La-Mania.
Well, how about this? So
go ahead.
Since you feel so strongly about this right here, so strongly,
why you gotta hold it up like that?
Because this is like, you know, to make sure it's all in frame.
You're disrespecting the title.
You know, to make sure. So this is what I can propose. And once again, this can only work if either the challenger agrees to it or not. Unfortunately, Juggs, you're kind of factored out of this equation.
I'm factored out of the equation.
Unfortunately. But I'll give you a consolation for it. So how about this? If you feel so strongly about the tie and everything going into Mania, how about this? We could just hold this up in the air.
No.
No. Let me finish. Not necessarily vacate it, but just hold it up in the air. And if Mr. Bombastic agrees to it, it can be a triple threat at WrestleMania.
I can't have that. Because I will never agree to that. I'll tell you why. Because I want you to have that overinflated longest reign. Because that gives me something to go after.
Okay.
That gives me something to go after. So I need that. So me and Juggs, or Juggs and I, will go up against each other during Mania. Because one of us will go on to take on whoever is champ. I'm rooting for you, by the way. At WrestleMania Backlash.
You know, I don't understand what's all of this hate and vitriol you have towards me.
Because you disrespected my reign with your fluff of a reign right now.
Yeah, I'm
going. I cannot help
with Jaeger.
that the shows fail the way they fail. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
For Jaeger.
Just know, sir, you are going against arguably one of the greatest predictors in this channel's history.
See, that's funny that you say arguably, because mine is definitively one of the greatest champions. And there's receipts to prove that.
Oh no, there is. You did a whole video showcasing that.
I know.
Across 6
That's
shows.
why it was so easy to do that video, because the receipts are valid.
And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But, you know, the history books will say otherwise.
You know what? Fuck them history books, man. Because that's the problem right now. Is that the history books state something, because the history books can say in WWE that Miz was one of the greatest intercontinental champions, almost in elite status like Jericho. But the Miz is also a fluff champion in the intercontinental scene. It's just the record books show him as one of the best because the numbers are there. And that, sir, is ScooterRay.
And that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. Because once again,
I hate you so much.
History will show that not only I was the first to cross to 10 reigns, but the 10th reign happened to be record breaking. That has to hurt.
You're proud of that?
Hey, Scoot, do you know how many times you had to lose that title? You had to lose that title 10 times.
The greatest champions in our history have won and lost multiple times. And we don't say that. But he has to deal with the fact that, one, I am 10 reigns in, 2, record-breaking reign at number 10, and 3, this is not even in his possession.
You know who also has a lot of reigns in WWE? But they're like not memorable? Close. Charlotte.
But what
Tell me which one of her reigns was the best one.
What would the history book say in the end? That she's a 14-time champion.
You know, this whole time, I thought I was being the heel with the Dizzle Independent Championship Kingdom, but I realize now, it's been you this whole time.
Yeah,
I told
you this whole time.
I told y'all from jump. I am arguably the greatest heel here.
I hate it, man.
So I will say this.
It was me.
As much as I love Jaeger Bombastic, and as much as I love this Bang Bang tag game, I am not losing this no time soon because you, Jaeger, are standing in the way of something that I want. I did the math. I crunched the numbers and all of that.
You did the math?
You did Steiner math. Is that what you did?
No. This is legit math.
Okay.
If I retain after WrestleMania weekend, Monday will be 100 days. And I am not falling short of 100.
Interesting.
You know, there's gonna be a run in. I'm gonna help out Jaeger. There's gonna be a run in.
You know what's crazy is that Scoot, you are at the tail end of this candlestick that you've been burning, because for the first time in ever, I've seen something happen twice.
And what's that?
In one night.
And what's that?
And that's fear. Because the moment that you realized that championship was going to get taken away from you by Juggs, presumably when he decided to take the same picks that you had, mathematically and strategically, Juggs, that would have worked. I commend you on that, because I would have made the same play for the most part. You decided to change your pick at the last moment because you wanted to win, and that's fine. But you basically took that and you forsake the turtleneck god. He wasn't your first pick. He was always my first pick. And you decided to then go for him. And then, even though I was going to bait you and say, hey, we should probably get a tiebreaker, knowing the rules that I implemented. I was like, Scoot will take the bait because he's a fighting champ. And I was like, yeah, let's see if he does it, because there's no way that he would just take this win and just run with it. He wouldn't be satisfied with that. He lost both nights. And you didn't. And that's the second time that I saw that fear. Because I remember specifically November 18th, Full Gear. You were champ. I was at the point where I was leading up into a tie with you. And then you said, Dizzle got it. And I said, no. I want it to be definitive. When you, sir, were champ, I said I wanted it to be definitive. And I still won that night, yes. But I didn't want to win it like that, because I wanted to make sure that I was the better man that night. You, sir, took a count out victory. Shame.
Some
And you
of the
know who I
greatest
blame
champions
as
in our
well?
history.
I blame that stupid ass Duck Quaxton. Because it was probably his idea.
You leave Claxton out of this, sir. He has done nothing to you. Okay? Nothing. Whatsoever. Leave him out.
I'm just saying. Just saying. Somebody had to orchestrate it. So it's either Quaxton or it was Fear. You choose one.
It was Quaxton.
It was never be
Quaxton.
This is Fear. Thanks, Juggs. It was Fear.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. It
Whatever.
was all the above. It was all the above.
Well,
Fear,
since
Quaxton,
you didn't want to take the other challenge, I guess we'll leave it.
So definitely not. Because see, here's the thing. I'm not going to take something away from somebody who actually, and granted, I will give him slack for sitting on his ass, but he still earned it because that was the step in that situation. So he did. And during this time, he's still been putting the practice in because he's still been predicting every single show, making sure that he's prepped for Mania. So I can't take that man's preparation away from him like that. It's not right. It's not right at all. So I will be the Jose Lothario to this Shawn Michaels right here.
Do it. It's fine. But first, sir, you have to get past him.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. It's a gentlemanly prediction battle between myself and Young Juggs. That's no problem. But I'll add one more. I'll add one more today.
Hey, Scoot, you're gonna be losing the first. You're gonna be losing at Stand and Deliver. That's where the downfall happens for you. At Stand and Deliver. And then night one, and it's gonna keep going downhill for you.
If I happen to not take anything at T.A.G Mania, I will not predict any show until SummerSlam, or unless I win the Money in the Bank.
Dang, we got this on record here, guys. We have this on record.
If you don't get anything right,
If I don't, no. If I lose,
If you lose,
period.
oh, dang.
I will not compete for the championship. My first predictions deal will be specifically for Money in the Bank. I will not compete for a championship, period, until SummerSlam.
why can't you Cody Rhodes route?
No, not that route at all.
I hope your little rousing good speech, your little bravado that you show, I hope it pays out for you in the end.
So if we end up getting in a tie, that means that
it's still the same.
He wants a win.
Still counts. It has to be a win. Has to be
a wise man once said, "That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out for him."
And look, Dizzle has won more than he's lost. I don't know if that's correct, but I'm taking it.
It's totally not. Don't have this.
But
and don't worry, the same rules apply. If Jaeger does beat me for this, I will drive to his place and hand it off to him like you handed it off to me.
Wait, so would you ever bring the towel to me?
You live way out yonder, sir.
You come down here for that.
Okay,
well,
I'll come to Houston for that.
I mean, look, Juggs, if you do, I'll have to create a whole another belt because I will let you have that belt if that's the case.
Whoa.
Shoot! Make it a whole other belt. Yes, yes.
Oh no! It's not going to be the legit one like that though. It'll be like that little plastic one you can get at Target.
Nah, it'll be a legit one, bro. It will be the legit one. But to make it quick, as far as the show goes, overall, I thought shit was amazing for the most part. I thought all the matches were, for the most part, on point. Even that 8-man. It was definitely a mess. But I'll give certain spots their due. Neck strong, always, all day. Tony and Deanna. Yes. Can't wait for Wednesday. What else we got? Turtleneck God. Never doubted you for a second. The tag match.
And Danielson.
Oh, Kingston and Danielson.
You can give me that all day.
Yeah. Granted, I think that they should have went a certain way, but after watching the match and seeing the outcome, I realized why they did what they did, because this is pretty much, in my opinion, it's Eddie's swan song. Because I think he might be close to being out the door at some point. So why not? Feel like I'm missing something before the main event.
Takeshita and Ospreay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That brought, I mean, yeah, definitely.
Ouch.
But that brought New Japan glory to an AEW show.
Yes.
And you still got FTR and BCC.
Yes, the tag match. Yes. There was no question in my mind what it was going to be. I did think it was probably going to be a bit more on the brutal side, even though it was already. But I would, even though we've seen it twice already, I would love to see it a third time. But I think we're going to start moseying on, which I think we might end up getting somewhat of a triple threat action between FTR, BCC, and the Young Bucks, because I do believe, which is why I picked Sting and Darby to win. I feel like Young Bucks are going to do some shenanigans, EVP shenanigans to get the tag titles or something like that.
Tony said it's going to be Tony Khan said it's going to be a tournament.
Oh, and see, I thought about that too, but I also figured that there was going to be some Young Buck shenanigans, but that's fine too. The triple threat match, Joe, Hangman, and Swerve. It protected Swerve immensely. Yeah. And I think I read that Hangman's going to be taking time off, so that's also
makes sense with this tapping out.
Yeah, perfect, because Swerve's going to get that championship, and Hangman is going to be in line to either take that from him or do something. But definitely getting that, and then of course the main event, unexpected. Ouch to Darby going through that glass, because that was brutal. And then Sting taking a glass bump too.
Yeah.
But one hell of a way to go out, more so than Ric Flair did. But, you know.
I mean, they got super good. I mean, him and Steamboat.
Well, I'm talking about Flair's last match.
Oh, yeah.
That was atrocious.
That was terrible.
Sting's last match on his own terms was fantastic. So I'll give it that.
For sure.
But that's my 2 cents on that, Jaeger.
I honestly love Deanna. Might just take that because Tony, while she's entertaining as hell right now, is feeling a little stale in my book. But that's just my own observation on her. She's still hilarious. Like, she's still like entertaining, but it's just I'm ready to see like someone else with the belts while she still continues her shenanigans and maybe like has a feud going on with her assistant. I can't remember her name immediately.
I never get tired of seeing Tony Storm. Never tired of seeing that.
You see, now I've had that same sentiment about
Seeing
Scott
that-
Blue.
Seeing that booty meat.
I don't know. Deanna looked like she was getting hyped up enough for it anyway. But yeah, that was my one of, what was it, 2? I think, 2 that I got wrong. The other one was the 8-man tag, which honestly, Wardlow was sitting there in the back of my head, and I hadn't been watching it in a couple of weeks, so I didn't see how well it was lined up for him. But my backup was going to be Jericho for that, so I went ahead and rolled the dice and see if they were going to try and pull a swerve on us. No pun intended. Everything else, I mean, hey, just for participating, I called it correctly, and I can honestly just back up whatever lip saying on there.
Big deal.
That's a big deal.
So yeah, but I will say congrats to the surviving champ.
Oh, now it's congrats.
I will congrats because you look, you are a champion. I have to respect the fact that you are a champion. Regardless of what happened here, you still won that belt back in December. So it's not like that you're not a champion. You know, it'd be different if you just happened to survive and then win the belt. But you've been champion since December.
He has an asterisk next to his name.
The asterisk is there as far as the defenses go. But the fact that you're a champion still warrants respect. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I will give it that. That is something, by the way, that the Bang Bang tag game have in common. Because when Jaeger here had almost got the longest reign. He came with 73 days. He also sat on his ass. I think you defended it once, but 73 days and one defense.
It was like a dry spell and shit. Yeah.
So, this is what it's. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, may the better man win at Tag Mania between you two. I look forward to it. But we had to give our 2 cents. We got to get back to business.
Yeah.
But Scoot, congrats. I will be throwing a lot of vicious words your way, my friend, because like I said, yes, the turtleneck and chain energy is flowing with an ungodly fury. So be ready, because everybody might get it. Juggs is probably the only person that will not get, like, you'll probably get some words too, but that's only because you're in a position that I'm not in. But Juggs is safe. I'll wait till Mania season to give Juggs some words, but that'll be out of competitive.
Oh, it's Mania season now.
No. We got to be 2 weeks in, because we still got to do a tier list for Mania. Which, by the way, there's going to be a tier list for all the Manias previous that we're going to run as well. So look out for that.
3 or 4 that we need to do.
Huh?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 that we need to do now.
Yes, we do. But we're going to focus on that one though. Anyway, but yeah. Continue on, guys. That's our 2 cents on that, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. I'll leave it all to Scoot.
Yeah, just kick him out.
Just kick him out. We don't need to hear what he has to say.
Oh. Such hatred from one man. Oh,
you get all the shots fired at. I mean, you are the heel over here. You are the heel.
But I love him like a brother. I do. I love him so much. I do. But we'll keep it going. We won't spend too much time, especially after Diesley and Jaeger. But, first match of the night, TNT Championship. Turtleneck God Christian Cage of the Patriarchy versus Daniel Garcia. This was a pretty good match. I'm glad I made the switch, because
I completely didn't realize that you didn't go with Christian Cage at the beginning.
I ended up making the switch because I was like, okay, in order for me to win per se, I have to switch a championship match. And the only one that made sense to me was switching Christian and Garcia. And the only reason why I swapped it was because I was thinking about it at first, because the way my mind worked was Copeland was going to help Garcia win.
Yeah.
Then I was like, no, that might not make sense. So switch it. And then when I made the switch, and then they said that match was going to open Revolution, I was like, okay, yeah, I think I made the right call.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But, like I said, it wasn't a bad match. Ultimately, Christian Cage retains,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was a good match. We had a lot of interference from, Kill Switch. He was getting involved. Mama Wayne, the great Mama Wayne, she was getting involved. Even Nick Wayne, he got involved. The they call him the prototype. That's his nickname, right?
Yeah, the prototype.
Yeah, and Daniel Garcia's, he was selling his ass off for Christian Cage in this match. We also saw Matt Menard, Dirty Magic, Daddy Magic, Matt Menard come out. That was awesome. Had appearance from him.
They're trying to help out,
take out Kill Switch. There were points where I thought Daniel Garcia was going to win the match. There was some nice near falls.
Yeah,
but it was, it wasn't time for Daniel Garcia to win the title here. But yeah, it was definitely a fine match, though. Good way to open up the show.
But yeah, that's it. Christian Cage, of course, with all the shenanigans, he retains. The next match for the Continental Crown, we have the champ, Eddie Kingston, of course, defending all 3 belts versus BCC's Bryan Danielson. Once again, this was a good match. I honestly thought Danielson was going to win due to the fact of I know he's nearing the end of his career, and it would be crazy for him to end his career without not holding a title in AEW or Ring of Honor. So I thought, he can kill two birds with one stone, be the ROH champ, AEW's Continental, and of course, the never openweight champ, all in one shot. But
yeah,
they changed their mind. So, but
yeah, it was a good match.
This was a hard hitting match. This was good, kind of like what Dizzle said. I can see that the aspect of when seeing the match, and now Dizzle putting a little ting that maybe Kingston could be nearing the end. So it's like, okay, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was definitely a hard hitting match. A lot of strong style. Like the Danielson, his chest was looked like raw hamburger meat.
I'm telling you, Danielson is one of those people that you clearly see the punishment on him.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes through a grueling match, he shows.
He does.
He shows.
Mm-hmm.
But Kingston gets the dub. Like I said, it definitely wasn't a bad match. Now this one, on the other hand, this was the first time where my eyes was like, okay, this is where we're at.
Oh God!
The 8-man All-Star Scramble. Chris Jericho.
This is so nauseating to look at.
It really is. Like look at the left side. Actually, no, because they switched it. Had they put Cage with Jericho, you really have the quote unquote, because this was supposed to be the Meat Madness match, and it was originally Wardlow, Hobbs, and Archer, but they swapped it because apparently Miro and Keith Lee was supposed to be in it.
Yeah,
but
I was not. This was definitely not an all-star 8-man match. No.
But yeah, as you see, Chris Jericho versus Hobbs versus Archer versus Wardlow versus Dante Martin versus Hook versus Brian Cage versus Magnus. And the rules of this match was first one get the pinfall wins, and not only that, but the winner gets the title match against whoever comes out champion from the triple threat. And it was like, this is one of the things that irks me so much with AEW. I understand they had Wardlow talking his trash, but at the same time, you were propelling Powerhouse Hobbs.
Mm-hmm.
You were essentially giving him these big W's and big wins, but then you put him in a match like this, which there was a slight piece of me that was like, okay, maybe Hobbs could take it, but the way that they've been hyping up Wardlow lately, it made sense for Wardlow to win.
Mm-hmm.
But this match, and then too, it was very, I don't want to say it this way because, like I said, it's no disrespect to the talent, but it was very staged. Because at times you had the big beefy boys slapping meat, then you had the smaller guys in there trying to slap meat, and it was like, what is this match for?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what is this match for?
This match kind of insulted my intelligence here. Like this was like, Tony Khan, what is you doing? Like, why did you have to book? I mean, it was cool when you saw the big meaty men going at it with that. I thought that was pretty cool. But like, there was just so much fuckery in this match.
It was
like so hard to keep up with everything, and it wasn't even all that great.
And that was the thing, like I don't see, he could have kept the Meat Madness that he originally did, and it could have really just been a fatal 4-way between Cage, Archer, Wardlow, and Hobbs.
Yeah, I would have been fine with that. You didn't need to have Jericho in here. You didn't have Hook. Magnus, I don't even know who Magnus is. I haven't really seen him.
He's one of the CMLL guys, and he literally just had his first match Saturday. No. I think, was it Saturday?
Or was it Dynamite?
or was it Dynamite? One of the two where he earned the right because he had to earn his right, and it was either on Dynamite or it was either on Dynamite, Rampage, or Collision where he beat Matt Sydal, I think, to get his way in.
I think it was on Dynamite.
So it was like, okay, whatever. But Wardlow wins. Wardlow gets a title shot against whoever walks out champ, which we'll get to. And once again, Dizzle and Yeager already kind of said it, but we'll get to it. The next match, one of my favorites of the night, you had FTR versus Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli of the BCC. Yeah, this is why tag team wrestling matters sometimes. When you get good matches like this is why tag team wrestling truly matters.
Yeah.
Because this was a hard-hitting match. It told a good story. The main reason why I personally picked FTR was because the way BCC was treating them. BCC was kind of disrespecting them, kind of, letting them be like, y'all ain't really nothing. Y'all ain't on our level, blah, blah, blah. And I thought that, okay, maybe they'll get their comeuppance. But nah, BCC took the dub, and I saw that exact moment when it was going to happen, and boy, once again, it was brutal. It was a brutal match, and literally, if this is not my favorite match of the night, in two matches, it will probably be between one of them two would be my favorite.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I think,
but yeah.
But yeah, this match between FTR and the BCC. Yeah, this was, like you just said, this is why tag team wrestling matters sometimes. This was really good. And I also liked how Moxley and, Claudio came out, with the LOD type of gear.
Yes.
That was cool. And they even hit a Doomsday device in the match.
Yes. And that Doomsday device was sick, especially with Claudio hitting it with the European uppercut.
Yeah, that was definitely that was a good spot in the match.
Oh my goodness.
Dax, he was bleeding so much.
Yes.
And when he hit that the ring post, or I think it was the steel steps or something, like you saw.
They were saying that they didn't know if it was the post or the steps that did it.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty bad spot. He was bleeding all over the mat. It was crazy. But yeah, it was a really fun match. I really enjoyed it. Good classic tag team wrestling.
Yeah, and once again, Moxley and Castagnoli gets the dub, and like we mentioned earlier, well, we'll get to it afterwards. But AEW Women's Championship, AEW Women's World Championship, Deonna Purrazzo versus Timeless Toni Storm. I agree with you, Juggs. I cannot get tired of Timeless Toni Storm. It was amazing. I even love the mind games they played because they played Toni Storm's old music, and it was Mariah May dressed up as Toni Storm. And then, of course, the Timeless one herself comes out. And this was one of those matches that I did not see the title changing at all. Nothing about that match screamed the title was going to change. Like, if Deonna Purrazzo would have won, that would have probably been the biggest shocker to me. But
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. But it was a solid match. It was a good match, but at no point that I ever thought that Toni was going to lose. And of course, Toni did win with some chicanery because Purrazzo had her submission, which I forgot the name of it.
The Venus de Milo or something like that?
Yes, the Venus de Milo. And Luther interfered, and Toni was tapping. And of course, the ref didn't see it. It led to Storm Zero, bam, over with.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't see Toni Storm losing the title here, and I like how like you said, they did the mind games, with Mariah May coming out, in Toni Storm's gear. I thought that was pretty cool. But no, I mean, this was a good match. Both Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm, they got chemistry. They faced each other before. So they did good here. But yeah, Toni Storm wasn't gonna lose the title here. But yeah,
exactly.
I love Toni Storm doing her the sweet cheek music, that
right
does in the corner. Oh man, I never get tired of seeing that. But yeah, good match.
Next up, probably my favorite match of the night. We had the Don Callis family, but we had the Don Callis family members of Will Ospreay versus Kenosuke Takeshita, and these boys went out there and fought each other like there was like titles on the line. Like they went out there and threw everything at each other. Like you wouldn't think they were quote unquote stablemates the way they was out there firing off on each other.
Mm-hmm. Nuts.
But
this match was a banger. Oh my lord.
Yes, like I said, this was probably my favorite match of the night. Easily. And this is coming from, and then funny enough, this is actually coming from somebody who has never really been the biggest Will Ospreay fan.
Wait, are we forgetting a match? I feel like we skipped a match. Did we forget the Roderick Strong?
Oh my God, we did forget Roderick Strong. Which we'll talk about that next.
How are we gonna forget the next Strong? Yeah, we'll get back to that in a minute here.
You know what? I looked right at it and totally skipped it. But we'll talk about that one next.
You disrespected OC and Roderick Strong. How you doing that?
We will definitely talk about that one next. Do I even have the graphic for that one? I thought I had the graphic. Where's the graphic go? But yeah, so Ospreay, Takeshita, Ospreay gets the dub. You know, they even bow to each other, show respects, and you know, Kyle Fletcher comes out, and then we find out that Kyle Fletcher is going to go against Will Ospreay on Dynamite, and it was like, so all of this is leading up to essentially Will Ospreay going to lead the Don Callis family. That's what you're basically telling me.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back in time, like Juggs mentioned. International Championship champ Orange Cassidy goes against Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Kingdom. This was one of those matches, kind of like what I said with the Tony and Purrazzo match. I did not see no outcome of Orange Cassidy winning. There was nothing that said Orange Cassidy was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole time, it was like, okay, he had the boys out there with him too, so it was like, yeah, he's going to win this match. So, but Strong does win. He is your new international champion. And then we see a wild Kyle O'Reilly appear. And it was like, oh, hey, because it's been like 2 years almost since Kyle has been on the scene. And, you know, he gave Strong a hug. Bennett took his shirt off his back, tried to give it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly said something in Strong's ear, and he looked very sad walking up the ramp. Kyle O'Reilly. So interesting to see what that's all about. Maybe we might get more answers come Wednesday with that whole Kyle O'Reilly situation.
Yeah, this whole Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong match, it was good. Roderick Strong, you know, with those backbreakers. I mean, that's why they call him the Messiah of the backbreakers.
They are brutal. They are very brutal.
That spot that they did on the top rope, that backbreaker spot.
Yes,
that was his nuts. And also Orange Cassidy, he was selling so good, you know, with the injured ribs, the injured back, and all that. Like, this was a good match. This was a solid match, you know. Orange Cassidy, he always does good in the ring, and Roderick Strong, you know, he's great in the ring as well. So this was a good match. And of course, you know, like you said, we had the return of Kyle O'Reilly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was hugging him at first, you know, then Mike Bennett gave the t-shirt, but he didn't take the t-shirt. So
yeah, he really didn't. Yeah, he didn't take the t-shirt. You're right. He forgot. He did not take the t-shirt.
He didn't take the Undisputed Kingdom t-shirt, which this faction, I'm iffy about it, because like they really haven't been doing a whole lot with this faction as of late. Like,
they really have not, and I'm pretty sure how they had to do with Cole being hurt.
Yeah, I wonder when Cole's going to be able to get back in the ring. I don't know, maybe a few more months, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's due to more with Cole being hurt, though.
I think so. And now to get back on track, your semi-main event for the AEW World Championship, you got the champ Samoa Joe defending against Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. This was not a bad match. But as much as I'm pretty sure the populace kind of wanted Swerve to win, we kind of feel like Joe was going to retain, especially since Joe just won it back in December.
Yeah, they didn't want him. They didn't want him being a transitional champion here.
Yeah, so
his first pay-per-view. Yeah,
and then it does a great to protect, especially Swerve, since he has so much momentum to have this type of match. Because then, of course, I want to say Dizzle predicted it that Hangman was going to be the one to take the pin anyway. So that way it protects Swerve. So
yes, exactly.
But yeah, they definitely went out there. They hard hit. They threw everything at each other. There was times where you could have thought either of the three was going to walk out. And then I even love the aspect of the way they spun it with Joe hitting the Coquita clutch on Hangman and him choking out Hangman. And they was like, did Hangman tap because he really wanted to tap? Or did he tap at the fact that he didn't want Swerve to win? So it was like, okay, I could appreciate that.
Yeah, that was really good. I really love the ending sequences, with Hangman, pulling out the referee, and it seems like Hangman's been more of a heel as of late.
Oh no, so you said you didn't watch. So I don't know if you saw the segment last Wednesday with Hangman coming out with the crutch.
Mm-hmm.
So Hangman comes out with a crutch like he was injured. And he was like, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to participate Sunday. And then Swerve comes out and he was like, that's so sad that you won't be able to be there and blah, 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 because we've done unspeakable things to each other and da-da-da-da. Joe comes out. Joe's at the stage. He says what he says. And then Hangman takes one of the crutches and starts beating down Swerve. And that's why they were saying I hung the Hangman and I swerved. So, but yeah,
Hangman, he's been a heel as of
he
lately.
kind of has been more heelish.
And it looks like when Swerve, tried to take. I don't know what that. I think that Prince Nana wears on his head.
He was like, nah, I don't want to use it.
He's like, I don't want to use that. But yeah, I love the ending sequences, with Swerve hitting the buckshot area as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then hitting the JML driver onto Hangman.
Yes.
And Joe coming in, throwing Swerve out of the ring. And Joe locking it, putting in the Coquita clutch. Like you guys said, this protects Swerve here. Maybe they do a rematch, maybe between Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland at Double or Nothing in May. I feel like, and maybe that's
I don't know if you saw it. They announced in April 21st, a new pay-per-view, AEW Dynasty.
Oh wait, that's gonna be in St. Louis, Missouri. Oh,
yeah, so AEW Dynasty. So maybe it could be a Swerve versus Joe at Dynasty. Or like you said, maybe they might save it for Double or Nothing.
I don't know. We'll see.
But our main event of the night, and rightfully so, it is for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. You have the champs, Darby Allin and Sting, versus AEW's EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. And of course, as you see at the top, Sting's last match. So back when AEW came to Rosenberg, Texas, Sting had announced that this was it for him when it came to Revolution, and that, he wanted to enjoy the ride. Well, beautiful enough, they were saying who was his last match going to be against and everything. And upon that ride now, him and Darby won the tag team titles. And it was like, oh, okay, interesting. And of course, that's when Matthew and Nicholas kind of came back on the scenes in this new persona of theirs. And they were basically showing why they should go for the tag team titles and this and the third. and we get here. So before we get here, I will say this. I legitimately thought Sting's final match was going to be against Darby.
I thought so too.
I thought that they was going to set up Sting's final match against Darby, but I was wrong. And then this match was made Texas Tornado style, and them boys went out there and showed up and showed out. And not only did they show up and show out, but Darby took a very gnarly bump when he was supposed to dive onto Matthew on a pane of glass, but Matthew was pulled away by Nicholas. Darby proceeds to crash through the glass and the chairs, but he really caught one of the chairs pretty damn hard.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, he was bleeding out through his back. They made mention that they had to tape him up and patch him up. The thing was that this would actually made the match kind of cool, because for about a good 10 or so minutes, it was just Sting versus the Jacksons. And my notion of picking this was, what better way to make the EVPs the biggest heels in the company by defeating Sting and Darby in Sting's last match?
Mm-hmm.
But they gave Sting everything. They gave him super kicks. They gave him the EVP trigger. They gave everything to Sting. Ultimately, Sting was able to hold off, fight back long enough for Darby to come back. Ultimately, boom, 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 Darby and Sting win.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a match. It definitely exceeded my expectations, especially from somebody who was a little critical of Sting when he first came to AEW in some of his matches. But I will rightfully say I was wrong. Sting's whole run in AEW.
Did you say that the tag team titles are going to be relinquished?
So
there's going to be a tournament
from what I saw, like highlights from the press conference, Tony announced that since Sting has retired, the tag team titles are vacated, and there's going to be a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I thought that Tony was going to let Darby just defend him, since Darby is crazy like that. That, Darby was going to just defend him until he ultimately lost him, but they're going to put him in a tag. They're going to put him in a tournament. And I'm pretty sure that they're probably going to be crowned at AEW Dynasty.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
but this match was nuts here.
It was insanity.
Like you guys been speaking of, that glass spot that Darby Allin took, through that ladder. Oh my God, that was nuts. His back was all bloodied up. They had to bandage that up. Darby Allin is a psychopath. He's psycho.
Yes.
He also had Sting taking some pretty nasty spots in this match.
He did.
He was taking a lot of beating, taking a lot of, like you said, a lot of super kicks, a lot of EVP triggers. But Darby Allin, he did that comeback. He made that hot tag, in a way,
mm-hmm.
help out his partner. But ultimately, they end up fighting back and end up winning here. Sting, Sting gets to ride off it, into the sunset. Yep. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully this is his finally, his last match.
I think it is.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him, make appearances here and there, but hopefully he doesn't have any more matches inside the ring because he doesn't need to.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think because I wouldn't think that they would go through all of this for him not to be. So I think he is done. But
there have been wrestlers in the past where you're like, oh yeah, I'm retiring. No, then they come back.
No, I don't see it with Sting only because they made such a big deal. Like the only way I see it is if he goes to WWE and does some things. But even then, I think he's done. I think he's
Sting's
done.
already in the hall. He's already in the Hall of Fame, right? In WWE, correct?
I think he is. So, but yeah, I think he's done.
Yeah,
I think he is officially done.
I don't know.
64,
Maybe Sting does something backstage, and maybe he does some like
I can see that.
training, or does
I
some
can see
like
that.
booking. Help with writing the shows. I don't know. Do something backstage.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. What else? Also during the show at some point, I can't remember, we had a pack vignette, and he's announcing that he's essentially coming back soon. We'll see how that goes. What else? I think that was about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, AEW Revolution. It wasn't a bad show whatsoever. It was actually a damn good show that, I had not that much hopes for, but it superseded what I thought, and I can appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did the same for me as well. It superseded my expectations. Because I didn't really know what the card was going into the show, so I was like, let's see how the show goes, and it was a great show.
But yeah, so we about to get ready to get up out of here. So like we always do, whether you love it, hate it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, preferably thumbs up. Like, comment, share. Let us know what you thought about Revolution and favorite matches, Sting's retirement, Sting's AEW run. Let us know. And once you do all of that, don't forget to subscribe. You got to subscribe. And then after you subscribe, you got to tag that notification bell so you can know when you get videos.
Now, don't tag it like twice. Don't tag it twice.
Don't tag it twice. Just this once. Just one good tag. Just one.
Yeah, because if you tag it twice, you might unsubscribe. So just tag it once. Just one lively tag.
Yeah, tag it once. And, shout outs to the other two members, Jaeger Bombastic and Lip Dizzle. And thank y'all for tuning in. Until you
also, be sure to subscribe to Juggernaut.
Yeah, it's all there. All the socials, everything. Till you see these beautiful faces, hear these handsome voices. Yeah, all of that. I said it wrong. But yeah, we got to get ready to warm it up. And until next time, people, do not forget to tag out. Peace.
Dollars make a way to make a change. Gotta be insane to make them same mistakes again. So I'm switching lane to lane. Pray the curb don't scratch.